Hello guys, what is up? Welcome back to another more. Today we are doing another review. Today for you guys, I'm going to be reviewing the re-release of the Green Goblin retro carded Spider-Man, the animated series figure. I'm really excited to have this guy in the collection because I never picked him up the first go around, and I found him at GameStop for $24.99, but I am a pro member, so I got him for $23.74. But plus tax, I think it was $25 altogether. Yeah, I think it was 25. But I'm so excited to have this guy open. Taking a look at the packaging to see, you have the retro Green Goblin look right there. It's the same as all the other packaging for the retro carded figures. You have the animated Spider-Man logo right there. On the back, you can see all the figures on the original wave. You have Spider-Man, Electro, Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, and the Armored Daredevil. On the back here is Green Goblin's bio. One of the few who knows that Spider-Man is really Peter Parker. The Green Goblin is perhaps the web slinger's greatest foe. I agree with that. You have another picture for Goblins right there. Is that the same one? Yeah, I think it's the same one on the front. Spider-Man logo again, and then little thing showing you that you can swap out the head sculpts. But yeah, I'm very excited to get this guy open. Found him at GameStop. Picked him up. It is just the re-release, the exact same figure as the older one from, I think, 2020. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this guy open, and I'll see you guys when I get this guy opened. I love the blue and packaging and stuff designed for this guy. That was dumb. I just threw that on my action figures. FYI, that is not all my figures in my collection. That's just one box. Okay, and here is the Green Goblin with all of his stuff, accessories out of the box. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the figure. Okay, starting off with the head sculpt. I remember when this came out, people were kind of mad at it for having the big bug eyes. The big yellow eyes, but I don't think it's that bad. I kind of like it, and the paint on mine, I think, is for the most part is pretty good. Maybe like the white pupils, I don't know what they're called. I think their pupils are a bit off-centered because it looks like he's kind of looking to the side. But yeah, it's all right. The teeth are nicely painted though, with all the kind of yellowish teeth. The green skin, the purple goblin slash, I guess, elf kind of cap right there. I think that's really nice. And you have this extra floating piece right here, which I guess is just more wrinkles for the collar of his purple suit. And then all over the figure you have this nice green kind of chain mail, but I guess it's also his like the green scales all over the figure. And then you get into the gloves. And these are really nicely sculpted with all the wrinkles and stuff. The goblin gloves, I really, really like that. So yeah, I think that is really nice. You can see that he does have pins in the figure all the way down to the knees and the elbows. And that is because it is again, it is just a re-release, simple re-release of the older figure. But that's fine because I don't think the older figure is that bad. I mean, I have him in hands now. And that's really nice because I think the older Green Goblin figure was going for like a lot. I think last I checked was like $60. But now that they have the re-release, that is, I think, very nice for newer collectors who didn't get the old one like me. Because I wasn't too deep into collecting, and I think when this guy came out, or maybe I was, but I remember these figures were super hard to get, the original line of retro carded figures. But yeah, you can see the plastic on camera. It looks worse than it is in person, but the plastic for between the don't know what you want to call this, but between this part, the upper leg, and then the thigh part, so the legs below this like crotch kind of piece, I don't know what you want to call that, but you can see the different colors in plastic. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. The different colors in plastic. You can see the one on top is a bit lighter than the one in the thigh or on the legs. So that is kind of annoying, but you really can't notice it in person, so it doesn't really matter. But there's not too much paint on this guy. You do have his satchel and his belt have the nice silver paint buckle all over there, and that is another separate piece, just like the little neck collar piece thing there. And then you have his goblin boots, similar to like the goblin gloves. I really like these. His little elf boots. You have the hook right there and the frayed edges of his boots. But yeah, I really like this guy. I think he looks really good. So now we're going to go ahead and get into the articulation. Starting off with the head sculpt, he can look up. He has a disc hinge and swivel. He can look up that high, which is really nice for the glider poses. He can look down that low, which is also pretty nice. And you do get some pretty nice goblin tilt for this guy. So I really like that. And of course, all the way around. And then his arms are kind of stopped by the sculpting of the sculpt of the scales, but they do go up. I think it's not even 90 degrees, but so yeah, you get up that high. It's not really 90, it's more like a 45 or maybe 60 degrees, so that's kind of disappointing. They go all the way around. You have the bicep swivel, double jointed, not pinless elbows, but double jointed elbows, and then you do have the hinge and swivel at the wrist. You have, I think this guy is on the like the torso is utilizing the Bucky Cat body mold, but he can bend forward this far, so not that great, but he can bend back a little nice amount, but you do get that gap in the chest. And then he does have the waist swivel, which is nice and tight on this figure, so I'm happy about that. You guys know me and my waist swivels. The leg can kick up that far. He has thigh swivel, goes all the way around really nicely. And then you do have the double jointed elbows, or sorry, knees that are not pinless. You do have boot cut, which is nice for the glider poses. I know the MCU version was sorely lacking that. And then the ankles go down that far and that far up, and do have ankle pivot. So I think the articulation on this guy is pretty nice. Could have used a bit more range, and I think the elbows and definitely the arms, the shoulders, and then maybe a little bit more range going forward. But overall, not too shabby. So now let's get into the accessories. So on the figure, you have obviously the satchel part, his purse, which is removable, so that's kind of cool. You can take that off, so I guess that counts as an accessory. But he also has the green goblin mask face sculpt, so that's really nice with the big ears and everything. And you can, this is my first time doing this, of course, pop that off. And again, this little thing is a separate piece. You could pop that off as well if you really wanted to. And he comes with an alternate Norman Osborn head sculpt, so that is really cool. I do have another one of these in my collection from the Iron Patriot figure, but I think the sculpts are different. But you do have the wavy edges in his hair, so that's really nice, just like in the comics. And I think this is before they started using the face printing technology. But overall, the QC on this guy is pretty nice, not too shabby. And I have seen people having a bit of a hard time popping this on the head. So, on the neck, sorry. Popping this on. That's tight. That's almost like too tight. So, yeah, I don't really care for that. That's really, really tight. So I'd be very careful when you have the Norman head sculpt on. But I am going to pop it back off and just put on the Goblin head sculpt, because that's what we're here for anyways, the green Goblin. So yeah, that's a nice pop. The Norman head sculpt didn't really have a nice pop. But he has just the like the open hands on the figure. So that's cool, I guess. And the reason for that is that he comes with this really, really nice focus pumpkin bomb, and that is just looks so good with the green flames coming out of it. Yeah, I really, really love this piece. Sorry. Focus. Yeah, that looks amazing. You can see there's a little bit of paint wash on the green flame. But yeah, so you can take the figure, and since he has the two gripping open hands, I think you can just like slide this in, and friction will help you for most of it. Let's see, pop this guy in. Did it work? I don't know. Give me a second. Okay, so I've messed around with it for a little bit, and it overall thing is not the tightest fit in there. Yeah, it kind of just falls back out. So it's kind of just like utilizing gravity to help it stay in. So it's not the tightest fit in the world. So that's kind of disappointing if I'm being honest, but the actual pumpkin bomb itself is really cool. And then for the last accessory, we've already taken a look at the satchel. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly put that on the figure. For the last accessory, you of course get the goblin glider, and that is really cool. You have the little brackets in there for his feet to go in, some like jet boosters. You have this turbine on the back right there. The sculpting on this is really nice. I think they reused this for the what's it called, the hobgoblin as well, if I'm not incorrected. You can see it also has this little port down there for a stand, which the stand does not come with this figure, but I do have the stand from the jack-o'-lantern. And okay, it's a tight fit, but you can get it on there. And now to put the goblin on the actual glider, I think you just need to hook the feet in there underneath the thing, and then friction will take care of the rest. Yeah, the stand doesn't really stay in that great. I'm trying to get the feet in there nice and tightly. It's kind of difficult. Give me a second. Okay, so that is really cool. I am worried that it is gonna kind of fall off. Actually, that's in there nice and tight. I actually like that. So, yeah, that is really cool. It's lightweight, so it's not too heavy. And if you have the stand, it can pop on there. But I really like the accessories that this goblin comes with. It would have been nice to have like some fisted hands though. And then for some comparisons, first we have some other glider wielding characters. We have the MCU Green Goblin and Jack-o'-lantern. Here we have the comic book Doc Ock and Shocker. Here we have Hydro Man and Molten Man. Here we have my favorite Venom in my collection and Hammerhead. Here he is next to Ben Reilly and the new comic Miles Morales. And then for a Spider-Man comparison, here he is next to the Mafex Spider-Man and the Maximum Series Spider-Man. Just did a versus between these two. Please go check it out on the channel now. And then last but not least, for an Osborn comparison, here we have the MCU Willem Dafoe Green Goblin Osborn. And then here we have the Iron Patriot Osborn. You can see how these two look together. So I think they definitely, maybe this one is a reuse of this one. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you know. And then here is these two compared to each other. Yeah, guys, so that's gonna do it for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube roll. And yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think of this Green Goblin down below. Overall though, my final thoughts, I think this guy is a pretty cool re-release. Would have been nice if they updated him with like new pinless joints and butterfly joints. And I do think that he could have used like an extra fisted hands. But other than that, honestly, it is a cool re-release for people that don't already have the figure. So yeah, I think that this is a pretty worthy buy if you don't have the original one. If you do not get this. It's literally the exact same figure, nothing different. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it. Overall though, I'm gonna give it, I think, like a 7 out of 10. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the roll, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.